Hello, residents of Meepletown. This is Dean.
This is John.
And Niels.
We got
Germany.
Nils. Yes, from Fun
Yeah.
Tales.
I'm back in my favorite town.
Yes. Yes. SeaWorld is his favorite town.
SeaWorld?
SeaWorld.
SeaWorld is not his favorite town. Meepletown is his favorite town.
SeaWorld is his favorite town.
We got it. We got it. It's not the movie. We got it. Oh,
That's my whale sound.
We are coming at you with our top 10 games of 2018. Wowzers, this was a good year. My goodness.
See, look at Nils. So right before we decided to record this, did you hear him? He says it's not a good year. Me and Dean are like, this is an amazing year. 2018 was so good. And Nils is like, no. So I love it.
I really had a hard time to get 10 games that I still play from 2018.
Wow.
I love that.
I see it in your faces. You say, what? Is he crazy? Yes, he is.
That's what I love about this hobby. There's so many games out there that, if this is a great year for me, it doesn't mean it's going to be that way for everybody. When we get to 2017 eventually, I don't think that was a great year for me, but there were some great games that came out that year. Yeah. It's just interesting.
I know that 2016 would have one of my top threes of all time.
Wow. Oof.
Okay. All right.
So when we get to that, we need to talk to Nils.
We need to bring Nils
three of all times. Yeah, that would be cool. So we did 2019, like a month or two ago, and I was like, we got to do 2018, and let's just count backwards. So this will be our counting backwards. So we're 2018 right now, and then the next will be what, Dean?
2017.
That's a hard question. That's a hard one.
I had to think about that one. Although we thought about skipping 2017 because I don't know if I can come up with the top 10 from that year. Man. I just missed a lot of the really good games from that year. But we're not talking about that year.
Let's do it.
We're talking about 2018.
Let me ask you one question before, because I prepped myself with watching on BGG Essen and Gen Con pre-release lists and looked at what was on there. So how do you prepare for? How do you know this game is from that year and this game is from that year?
We do BGG, whatever year they have on Board Game Geek.
Okay.
Yeah, but that can be controversial too.
It can be, because sometimes they're going to be released, in the U.S. differently than they are in Germany, which is it's definitely a challenge. And just, I don't know if anybody's interested in doing this list and they're wondering how can I do that. If you do go to BGG, BoardGameGeek.com, and at the top right corner you can click on search, and there's an advanced search option where you can search by year. And so that's how I did mine, and I just went solely off of that year that they have posted on BGG.
Yeah.
So
that's what I did. All right. Who wants to go first? Number 10 game of 2018.
Can I start with number 20? I'm just going to, I got a lot.
Nope.
I have a couple of runner-ups too, but I'm pretty sure my number 10, I will go first.
All right.
Number 10, Live from Germany, is very high on your lists as well. So should we simply skip it? I can tell you a little bit of it. There are poker chips involved, very famous poker chips. It has 2 versions, and it was a huge Kickstarter. And
it's definitely on my list.
It's definitely on both of your lists.
Both of our lists.
It's my number 10.
Okay, you will wait. We can wait, right?
Oh, all right, suspense.
All right, SeaWorld, you can wait. So number 10 is going to be a pause button for Nils.
I bet it's really high on John's list, so.
It's pretty high.
I bet, yes.
I guess it's pretty high. All right, so do you want to go, Dean? Do you want to have like the last glorious spot this time?
No, it's fine. I think mine's gonna be. If you listen to the show, if you've heard me
obvious.
talk about it, mine's
okay.
Gonna be
Then you go
obvious,
next.
I think so.
All right.
So for me, it is my number 10. I got to look at this. I have it pulled up on here. Here we go. So my number 10 is Nemesis.
Nemesis.
Which
interesting.
Which is basically Alien the board game. Does that sound appealing to anybody out there?
Have you played it, Nils?
I have not.
Okay.
This is an Awakened Realms game, and in this game you are on a spaceship and you're working with other people to get back to Earth. So you have to navigate. You have to go to the navigation part of the ship to make sure you're on the right route to get back to Earth. You also have to make sure the engines are working. You also could potentially have your own secret objective that is against what other people are trying to do. So like I might be trying to go to Mars. And so if I'm trying to go to Mars and I'm checking out the navigation system and you guys are trying to go back to Earth, I could really be messing you up. We also have aliens on the ship, and there could be fires that burst out, and we have to explore the ship. I've only played this game one time, which is why I was really reluctant to put it on my list. And actually, I think really it would go higher. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I loved this game. So much fun, but it's right up my alley, like super thematic, just very, very Amerithrash type game.
Give me 2 or 3 more sentences about the mechanics. So what are you actually doing on your turn?
You don't need to know the mechanics. You just need to know I'm killing aliens.
Listen, listen, Niels, you know this. It's all about the miniatures for Dean.
Okay. I got it.
He's like, I'm sold, and I'm moving him around.
Funny. No, so it's card play. You're playing these these actions on the card, and now it does have dice combat in this game as well. But the kind of the big push of the game is card play to do your actions.
Yeah. Right, now I've never played this one, but I sat all my lonesome on the corner of the table because I came to the game day too late, and I watched a 2-hour game of this. Remember that, Dean?
I do remember that. Well, you could have joined us.
I just sat there. Yeah, because he was almost done with the explanation. I'm like, no way. It would drive these people insane if he had to explain it again. All right, that's your number 10?
Number 10, Nemesis.
So my number 10, I need help from Niels pronouncing this the correct way, Niels.
Okay.
Ganz schön clever. Say it.
The proper pronunciation would be ganz schön clever.
Ganz schön clever?
Ganz schön clever.
Ganz schön clever.
Nailed it, John.
Schön.
Schön.
So, man, I got my country.
Go higher with your
Shun.
Shun. Yeah.
All right. See, Dean, Niels, I did a video of this. It was on one of my top lists at some point in time, and I got called out for completely butchering the name. So I guess I should really just say that's pretty clever, right? I should do the American version. But in this game, you've played it, haven't you, Niels?
Yes.
Or no? Yeah. I like it because it's a quick game. You are rolling dice, but it has like the bonuses that make you feel clever. When you get this row completed, then you get this bonus that can unlock this thing, that can unlock this. And for those who don't know, it's a roll and write game. You're chucking dice. I don't really like roll and write games, but it's my favorite. It's my favorite roll and write game. For sure. But you are chucking those dice and you're just crossing off boxes, and they can unlock this bonus to unlock that bonus. And I think it's a really clever game, and I think it's fun.
I like it too. So it's a really good one. But roll and write for me as a genre, there is so much going on with roll and write. So it started off with very easy ones, then slightly heavier ones like Ganz schön clever. Then it evolved into a 1.5 hour game last year, Rome from Plastic Soldier Games.
Yeah, I haven't played that one.
Now we have a cut and write game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that, Cutterland from Hobbyland. So you cut cards and destroy cards, which is a little bit of awkward for gamers, I know. So this is a genre that really fast evolves, and the genre itself fascinating me every single time, but I cannot really grab which is my favorite. Do I like more the easier ones, the heavier ones, the ones with cutting? I don't know. Each single new one feels like, oh, that's my number one now.
Yeah, I'm not a big roll and write fan personally, and I'll say that the reason that this is number 10 is solely because the app, because it's got a great app, and which you can click the eye. Maybe I'll connect these videos and you can see our top 10 apps, but it's just something that I can sit on the toilet and play. It's a toilet game. Pow, pow, pow. I feel clever.
Yikes. This might have been in my
Should
top
I say pow,
100
pow, pow when I talk about sitting on the toilet?
I wasn't quite sure if you were talking about the game or something else.
Pow, pow, pow.
This is my top 100 easy for 2018.
Wow.
Maybe the second or third
All
best.
Right, we're moving on.
Right for that year.
All right. Nils, number 8.
Number 9.
Oh, number 9.
Oh my God.
Let's not skip my number 9, because my number 9 is unique, and I'm pretty sure most of my games on my top 10 are unique for you. I really try to pick the ones I still play, not the one I was really hyped in 2018. So looking from now, from 2020 to 2018, that's how I prepped my list. My number 9 is Key Flow. It's the card version of Key Flower. I don't even have it, or I don't even own it, but I think it was so perfect. It was just a perfect combination of playing Key Flower. Are you familiar with Key Flower?
Love Key Flower.
Love Key Flower. Mm-hmm.
And then in a card draft version, so you're getting cards and you draft them around through spring, summer, fall, and winter. And you know a couple of these scoring phases in the winter, because you have some of them on your hand and you put them in the draw pile, but you are not 100% sure if you get them. So you have a little bit of knowledge what could be scored, but not the complete one. And then you simply draft, but the rules from building is similar. So you still have the feeling of Key Flower, but you play it as a card game. So.
All right, which one do you like better? Just curious.
Key to the City London is my favorite of the series.
I really want to try that one. That's actually been on sale lately. I've been really tempted, but is it? Yeah, I love Key Flower, and I'm good with that one. Love it so much.
Yeah, me too.
No, my favorite is Key to the City London. That's my favorite of the series, but I like the whole series. I think the mechanic of this bidding on the edges of the tiles is
fun,
pretty unique and strong enough to keep alive for 3, 4, 5 different games.
Yeah, awesome. All right, number 9.
That's my number 9.
Number 9. I got the number right that time.
My number 9 is a Stefan Feld game. I think this might be on someone else's list. Do we need to hold off on this one?
We have two Stefan Felds.
I'm sorry. It's the one that I like the better, Dean.
It is. It's the one you like better.
Do you want to wait?
Is it the more prettier one or the uglier one?
It is the prettier one.
The prettier one.
It's the prettier one.
Go for it.
Not the one where you get confused about the colors.
Although the uglier one was like top 15 for me probably, which is I like that game a lot too. So okay, we'll hold off on that.
All right, no. Go for it. Go. I don't have it on the list.
I've got it on mine. Okay. I got it on mine. All right. So my number 9, I don't know if anybody has or not. Maybe I should turn the lights out whenever I reveal this one. Because it's a blackout. Blackout Hongkong, baby. All right. So for anyone who knows me, who's been listening to Meepletown, knows that Pfister, I'm a big Pfister fan. And I like Blackout Hongkong. It's a good, really, really good solid game. It's actually been a little while since I've played it. For a lot of people that I've talked to about this game say they enjoy it, but other games kill it for them. Like they like Mombasa better still, or some of his other games do. So even, in fact, Jonathan, the guy one of our buddies that writes for us for Meepletown, he sold me this for $20 because he's like, I just like Mombasa better. So anyway, but I still like Blackout Hongkong. Still a really solid game. What, have you played this one, Niels?
I played it once, 2 weeks before Essen. It was, if I remember correct, that was very secret that Blackout Hongkong is coming out. So it was revealed by Eckertspiele 2 weeks before Essen or something like that. And a day after their press release, they had an event at Pegasus Spiele, which is a German distribution / publisher for that. And they showed the game to the public, to the press public for the first time there. And I played there, but
nothing didn't do anything for you.
It was okay. Alexander Pfister is one of my favorites as well. So, but
this game's polarizing. It seems like there are a lot of people who really like this game, and a lot of people that don't. It seems like
the way you have a lot in this game, there are a lot of steps to each round. And I know, like, for example, Jonathan gets irritated by having to go this to this to this to this to this. There's a lot of pre-planning, which you do in Mombasa as well with the cards, because you got to – the way that those work and the way you pull one of your card stacks off. I don't know. Some people might not like that either. I like it. I will say this: the last two that I've done in my top 10, I like, but I'm not like over the moon about. Like Ganz and Clever, like in Blackout Hongkong, I like it, but I'm not like crazy about it.
I mean, I would play it if someone wants to play it. I would play it, but that is for every Alexander Pfister in my opinion. So if there's Pfister on the box, I would play it. It doesn't matter what.
Hey, can I ask you real quick? What do you think about Maracaibo?
It's there. It's still in shrink. I have to have it because it's a Pfister. I need it, but I haven't played it. So
it's really good.
Also this, yeah, is it?
It's better than Blackout for sure. Yeah, it's really good. Dean likes it too.
I like it a lot. I don't know if I like it better than Great Western Trail, but I was listening to Rolling Dice and Taking Names, and they did like it better.
Wow.
At least Tony did. I can't remember what Marty said, but yeah, I get it.
But I still really
like them both a lot.
Yeah. All right. I just derailed us for a second there, which is what I usually do.
Not a 2018.
All right. That's my number 9, Blackout Hongkong.
Niels,
back to
number
Niels.
8.
Okay, so I talked about this event at Pegasus where we saw Blackout Hongkong for the first time, and they had another game that year from Pegasus that was hyped from Pegasus itself, not on the market, and I think especially not in the United States, but I really, really, really like the game, and I have it here to show it this time. So my number 8 is Crown of Emara.
I want to play that so bad.
Crown of Emara has a very interesting, it's a Euro game, and I know you guys love Euro games, and you have 2 circles with meeples on it. It's just for 4 spots, and you go around these 4 spots with cards. You have 1, 2, or 3 steps you go, and you can pick that or that circle where you want to move your dude on, and wherever you move your dude on, you do the action where he's landing on. So one is a city thing where you build or going into the church and giving some stuff to get some stuff back. Usually it's an exchange, and the other one is just getting goods, getting resources, or building new resource facilities. So, and that's a really interesting balancing. And it has another very unique, interesting thing. It has 2 going adjacent scorings, and you have to have both of them correct. So you have to have enough villagers or settlers there, but also housing. So the lowest, you get the lowest number later on. If you have more villages than houses, sorry, they are going. So you want to have the best city. But if you have plenty of houses, so they are running away. So that's my number 8. I really like it. I think it's clever. Unfortunately, it's one of these Euros that is not recognizable too much. So it's one of these. I would always vote for it, but it's nothing that screams at you when it's on the shelf. Oh, I have to play it. There's no name on it like Alexander Pfister, so it's simply overlooked by 500 other Euros.
Yep, I understand that. I was thinking about that game yesterday whenever I was editing our video for Hadara, which is Benjamin. What's his last name? I can't remember the designer's name. But anyways, he did, you know that he did that, right, Dean?
I did not actually. Yeah. Funny enough, we had a chance to play this at Tennessee Game Days this year.
And
it was because of me that we did not play it. Although I don't not want to play this game. It's just
I punch you down?
It's my number 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you missed out something, Dean.
You missed out.
We'll try this one at some point. All right.
So what's your number 8, Dean?
My number 8, I don't know if this is on anyone's list, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up this giant box. And I was a little, I considered not putting this on this list because it's kind of a reprint as opposed to, is this on yours, Nils? No?
Niels must hate this game.
Do you?
He's laughing. He's like, this is the worst game ever.
I can't hold that up the whole time. The box is too heavy.
No. That's definitely not what I wanted to say, John.
I'm just trying to cause conflict.
Have you, I know, John, you have not played this game. Niels, have you played Endeavor?
Multiple times. The old version and the new version, there's technically, for me, almost zero difference between the old one and the new one. It's a little bit of aesthetical things. So the game trace, it's cool, okay, and the couple of add-ons, okay, but the old one is technically the same game. But this is a love-hate affair for me. So I really want to like it. I really like it. I know a lot of people liking it, and once I'm playing it, it's always feeling good, but I'm not good in it for whatever reason. I don't know. So it's a love-hate thingy. So it's really definitely a good game.
I'm interested to see. So I never played the original, so I didn't have anything to compare it to. I like shiny components, and that did it for me for trying it. But I love games. Here's what's funny. I don't love That's Pretty Clever, which is just a moving up a track game. But I do love that mechanism in games, and Endeavor is very much that. You're moving up in these 4 different tracks, and then you're building buildings to take actions. And it's the mechanics are really simple in this game, but I just think it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of different things that you can do. Now, here's the thing, though, with the buildings, I think that the buildings can kind of get stale. Potentially, but with the new expansion coming out, I'm interested to see what that adds. I actually backed it, but I don't know enough about enough about what is added to the expansion. But I think it's going to really breathe life into it. I'm excited. I'm excited to try it out. But I really like this game a lot.
Let me ask you one question, Dean, especially about the tracks. We have this in this controversial game of 2019, or was it 2020? I don't know, Tapestry as well. So these tech trees where you move along, and I know it feels good, but when you're behind all of the other ones, it feels bad, in my opinion. So that is the reason why I'm always a little bit on off it. It feels really good, and you want it to be ahead, but it's really hard to get and pass on the leader on that. Yeah, he is always this 1 or 2 steps in front, and you feel like having a race that you can't win.
That's true. Now, I do think that on some of these games, Tapestry, I think in the games that I've played, they tend to be really close. And it may just be the people that I'm playing with. I'm not sure, but Tapestry tends to be like scores that are really close, and there's scores that are into hundreds, which is pretty crazy. You know, when you have a game that you score that high and the scores are close, I like that. But the thing I'm okay with is that you can be ahead in a certain track.
Someone else is on another track.
But somebody else is higher in another track, but you're higher in this track. So I think some of that might balance out, or should balance out in a good game like that, right?
And some of those games too in Tapestry can be this way, is that That's Pretty Clever. If you can get the right combination, you can kind of shoot up the track pretty quick out of nowhere. Some of those, I don't know about Endeavor, but never played it.
So Endeavor, the tracks will show you how many, what level building that you can get is one of the tracks. One of them tells you how many cards that you can have in your tableau at the bottom. One tells you how many workers that you can have and how many workers that you can get back. And so I do think that in this game, and probably Tapestry as well, you need to kind of stay fairly balanced in those tracks. Because you need to be able to build the better types of buildings, but you also need to have a lot of workers to be able to place them out on the board. So
there you go.
But I don't know what it is, but I really love this mechanism.
Number 8. Ready?
Yeah, I can see that. This is up and down for me, right? So yeah. I really like the mechanic as well, but it's always, there are always games where I think, no, I really hate it because I'm lost. So I have no chance to get better.
And I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah. All right. So my number 8 is a Euro game. Dean, I don't think this was on your list, but it feels Ameritrash. It's a classic designer. You're going in to fight the old ones. Auztralia. Have you played this, Nils?
No, I have not. I have it here somewhere in Shrink, but no, I have not.
So in this game, you're building railroad tracks, you're building farms. It's very classic Martin Wallace. This is a Martin Wallace game. But as you're building these tracks and these farms by going to these spots, you're actually building them into this I can't remember what the land's called. I guess it's Australia, but I don't, the deep or something like that. And as you progress deeper, you have these monsters that are coming at you. I usually don't like these type of games, but you have these monsters that you're going out and you're having to kill because they're also coming towards your land and trying to attack you. But what I like about it is the battle mechanism, because it's not just chucking dice, it's cards. You're flipping over cards and it has values on those. So it definitely kind of mitigates some of that just random, I'm just rolling 6 every time, because he's done a really good job of mitigating that. But you also have engine building where you're getting people, you're getting different weapons, tanks, and different things to go in there that attack certain monsters better than others. It's a blast. It's a really fun little game. It's, not my favorite game or anything, not super high on my Martin Wallace. Honestly, I like a lot of his games better than this, but I still like it quite a bit. Dean, you liked it, didn't you?
Maybe even 2018, maybe. Martin Wallace game.
Oh,
in 2018, you might even have a higher Wallace on yours.
It's possible.
So Australia for me was really difficult. It was for sure my number 11 on here. And here's the thing. Australia was in my top 50 games of all time list, and it's number 11 in 2018. If that shows you
how much you love 2018.
How much I love this year. Yeah. So I really, really like Australia.
All right. Number 8 for me.
So then I have to play it, definitely.
I think so.
Do.
Do you like Martin Wallace?
So. Martin Wallace is a wildfire for me. You can love it or hate it. So that's really, he has a whole swing of really crap and really good ones. Yeah. My favorite Martin Wallace is something that you probably don't know, is Rise of Empires. I don't know if you've played it. It's very old.
Mm-hmm. I know the game, but I've not played it. I really like Martin Wallace.
Okay, so let's go to my number 7. Number 7 for me is a game that feels a little bit like a clone of another game. But for me, it's the better clone. And it's from Yellow. And Dean, you can hold it up for me, I guess.
Okay.
It's Decrypto. In Decrypto, you have teams, and the teams giving clue words. And now we know what we are talking about. Feels like a little bit like a clone of Codenames. So you're giving clue words, and you're trying to decrypt what the others' clue words are. So, and the team that encrypted that first or decrypted it first is the winning team. We always had a blast to do that because you wanted to give clues that are understandable, but not so much understandable for the other team. You try to explain to your team while the others try to intercept. That's basically what it is. See, I give my team a good clue that the others, and my team has 4 words, and I'm describing one of these 4 words. So they have a knowledge about what I could talk. The others have no knowledge, but they try to figure it out, and they try to bring it in order.
This was almost on my list. The only reason I gave that's pretty clever the number 10 spot is because I played on my phone so much. But Decrypto is one of my favorite party games. For some reason, it takes a minute to explain it to folks. Like have you had that experience where I have to like show them around before they totally wrap their mind around it? Maybe I don't know. I've seen that, and I've seen that with other people to kind of, okay, that's what we're doing. But then it just clicks immediately and you're good to go. I really like it. It's good.
I think that the sweet spot is 8 people for me. So 4 on one side, 4 on the other side. That's a sweet spot for me. And for that, I really like it. If you go above 8 people, I would always pull out Codenames.
Yeah.
But between 6 and 8, I would take Decrypto over Codenames.
There you go.
Funny enough, I've not played this, although I'm the one holding it up. This is a friend's copy.
You would like this one a lot, Dean. I think
I borrowed
really
it.
Like this one.
Yeah, I think so. I borrowed it from a friend for a family gathering, and we just didn't get the chance to play it. So I really want to try this one out.
That's my number 7, Dean. To yours, number 7.
My number 7, I think, is higher on John's list. Maybe it gives me the vibes of maybe Little Mermaid. Is that on your list, John?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay, then I'm gonna hold off on that one.
So then my number 7 is not on your list. I don't think it is. It's Nils. Do you have any failed games on your list?
1.
It's probably on. Okay, then I'm gonna wait a second. We're trying to fill each other out. It's not Carpe Diem, is it?
Mine?
Yeah.
Mine is.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Dang it. All right, sorry.
Go for it. Come on.
I'm spoiled. Okay, so then mine's not. Mine's Forum Trajanum.
This was my number.
This is the pretty one, Nils. This is
number 10, number 9.
I have both. I have played both, and yeah, I explain it when it comes to my list.
Well, explaining a Feld is not super exciting. A lot of times, you know what I mean? Like,
I explained why I picked the other one over there.
Over this place. So, and I was literally when you were talking, I was looking down the box going, okay, how do I explain like what I'm doing so that people really understand? Wow. I don't know I'll say what I like about the game is something that I've mentioned a lot of times on Meeple Town that I typically like about Feld games is that you're usually left with incremental, simple decisions. Like I've got these 2 guys that I'm going to place onto my player board. Which one do I want to place? Or which one do I want to keep? I'm going to pass it over. Now that I've placed it there, I unlock this, which then now I can use it to do this or do that. Then I'm going to send them into the forum to do that or go somewhere else. So I don't ever feel like, and this game is really good about that. I don't feel overwhelmed, but I feel clever when I knock those decisions down together. And so that's what I love. Feld does that really, really well. It's not like I've got 17 things to do and I'm overwhelmed by that. It's just, all right, you got to do this, then let's do this, and let's go there. And I think that Forum Trajanum does a really good job with that. My wife really likes this game, so that helps it go up higher. And when my wife likes it, it makes me like it better because we play it more. So that's why it's number 7.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Felds as well. Actually, both of his from 2018 I really enjoy a lot. But I gave Forum Trajanum the edge, a little more meat. Although list. That's
But it's not on your list.
Yeah, it is number 9.
Oh, that's right. You said it was on your. My bad.
Yeah, Forum Trajanum is number 9 on mine.
So number 9 for Dean, number 7 for me. All right, Niels, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is a box with a lot of poker chips in it.
Ah. So that is. Hold on.
No.
It's a different one.
It's a different one. A lot of poker chips in it. It's from an American company, not from Canada. Yours is from Canada, I'm pretty sure. And it's a 2-player game. Usually you can play with 4, but it's a 2-player game. And it's a very unique shape of the box. It's War Chest.
Oh, never played it.
War Chest is technically some kind of chest with abilities. So you have poker chips in it. It really looks beautiful inside, if I can open it. And you put these poker chips into your little baggies here. So now it's probably full.
Now Niels is doing us up. He's like opening the box and showing everything.
So there are a couple of things in it. So poker chips, and you put these in here, and you draw 3 pieces out of it, 3 chips, and you place them either face up or face down. So your opponent knows a little bit about what's in your bag. So it's a back builder / chess. And then you have to move around on these boards here to control these spawn points here. And moving is one action, attacking is one action. But the trick is you have 4 different armies or 4 different armies, and usually only 4 or 5 of these poker chips in your bag in total. And you can only move that particular army if you draw out that particular token, and you only draw out 3 of these tokens. So you can put in more from one army, but again, you are maxed out by 4 or 5. Once the army is dead, the poker chip is out of the game forever. So either you're building a higher stack that is slightly stronger, can get more hits, but then you cannot draw it out anymore because so you cannot move it. So it's really clever, and it feels like chess on the board. So really, I don't want you to get the next step, because if I'm going the next step, I'm attached to the opponent and he can attack me, because usually you can't move and attack.
Gotcha.
But each single army has a special ability. So some can, like cavalry, move and attacks. So doing some specials. So each single army has a special one. or usually you can do one action. A barbarian can, for an example, discard a token. So you really want to have a big stack of that, 4 of them. Then discard one and get more actions out of it. So that's really clever. You pick the armies by drafting the armies. And that's really a really fun modern way of playing chess.
That sounds like something you would really like that I would hate, Dean.
I've played this.
Oh, you have?
I actually, the designer
That's
taught
right.
me this
You
game.
told me that. That's right. You told me that.
David Thompson, who also did Undaunted Normandy, which I love that one quite a bit. I really like War Chest. I think for me, it didn't make my list because I just haven't played it enough. I played it that one time, really enjoyed it, but I've never had a chance to play it again. That's a fun game.
I played it a lot. It's cool. One of my top two-player games. Still.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool.
The other one.
And 2018 wasn't so bad then.
Not for a two-player game. Yeah, not for a two-player game.
All right. So, Dean, you're number 6.
All right. My number 6 is for sure not on John's list. I got it here somewhere. This is Cryptid.
Ah, Cryptid.
Cryptid is Nils. Have you not played this one?
No.
Okay,
not
so
even
Cryptid,
a single idea what it is.
Okay. So Cryptid is it's a deduction game where you are trying to find out where the cryptid is on the board. So you each have everyone who's playing, you can play up to 5 players. And this is not a cooperative game, although I thought it was the first time I played, which was quite the story. So I cheered after somebody else won the game.
You thought they were playing co-op the whole time. That was at a con too, right?
It was. We got a big laugh out of that. It was great. The funny thing is, I actually would have won that game, but I thought I'm going to slow play this so that we make sure that we know this is the spot where the cryptid is. So basically, you have these hexes on a board, and they're different. They're different terrain, and the cryptid is in one of those locations. But everybody has a piece of the clue of where the cryptid is. And so let's say mine says it's, within 2 spaces of a tower, or yours says it's either in the desert or the swamp, and John says something else. And so then we go around and we're asking questions. I'll ask, I'll put my piece on, put a cube in one of the hexes, and I'll say, Nils, could it be here? And if not, then I have another piece of the clue of whether or not it could be there. I would put my disc there signifying, okay, it could be here. And then you just keep going around until somebody will eventually find out where it is. It's a really quick game. I think this game can play in, 30 minutes. I'm not sure what it says on the box, but
it is pretty quick.
30 to 50 minutes, but you can play it in 30 minutes. If you like deduction games, this is my favorite deduction games. And I like deduction games a lot. So this one's Cryptid.
Can you hold it up?
Yeah, Cryptid.
Are you a deduction fan, Nils?
Oh, well, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not. So I liked the game though. Like it's probably one of my favorite deduction games. But it's been a while since I played it. But I don't like deduction games that much usually.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It actually could have been higher on my list, but again, this was a really good year. This could have been, top 3 game another year, I think.
Yeah. Wow. All right, my number 6, I know is your number 1. I'm pretty sure. So I guess I'm going to have to take that box and move it somewhere else, Dean.
Me? Yeah.
I'm going to. Yeah, I know what it is. It has to do with. Never mind. I know it's on your. I know it's really high. I'm sure it's your number 1. So that's it. I'll pass. Number 5.
Okay, let's do number 5. Number 5 for me is the second title in a series of, at this point, 3 games.
It's my number 5 also.
Oh, that
so it's going to be perfect. Dean, is this higher on your list?
Wait, what game are we talking about?
We've already talked about the designer once.
Oh, yes. This is my number 5.
No way!
I think so.
Dude, it's like Vegas. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. No! I thought you were talking. No, that is
no.
I thought when you said never mind. Yes, so this is not. Your number 5 and mine's the same then, Dean.
I was thining the same thing John was.
Okay, yes. But go ahead. There you go.
This is my number 5. I call it Azul 2, even if that is not the official name. But this is Azul 2. Azul, I'm pretty sure everybody is familiar with Azul, so I'm not explaining Azul. This has a little bit more meat on it. It's a little bit more leaning into the gamers games. And instead of the real Azul, even if I like the real Azul as well, and I think that has enough meat on it even for gamers. This one is a little bit more on it, but it has the same cool haptic, the same cool quality of components. It has to be on the list. It's the whole Azul series is a classic one. It has to be on a list, so it must be on a top 10 for me.
Okay, then I got a question. Have you played the new Azul first?
No, I don't.
Okay, I haven't either. Dean has. So between the first one and the second one, which one do you prefer?
And this is exactly what I mentioned. So it's worth to have and own both of them.
Yeah.
I would take the first one for non-gamers, and I would take this one for gamers that want to play some casual games, but with a little bit more meat on it.
Yeah. I think,
or people who played the first one 3, 4, 5 times, then I go to this one.
I like Azul, but I'm not blown away. Dean really likes it. I think it's good. I think they're good. But
2 is probably my least favorite, but that's not saying it's bad. I own all 3 and really, really like all 3 of them, and they're so beautiful. Yeah. I really think they're great.
I want to play the new ones. I've heard really good things about the new one.
Me too.
The new one is fun. It is fun. It's probably the first one's still my favorite. I love that the classic feel of it. It's just, another conversation, I guess. But I really think the first one is great.
I think they all of them, at least the 2 of them I know, have their own reason why they are still on my shelf, and I'm probably never getting rid of either or.
All right. Yeah. Dean, your number 5 is my number 5. Nils, do you have a Martin Wallace game on your list still?
Not the one you're talking from the Canadian publisher, the black and white version?
Yes.
It's not on my list.
What?
It was on number 10. It was my number 10.
What? Okay, Dean, go ahead. Let's do.
Oh, no, it's his number 10. We already talked. He already said that it was.
Oh, that's right. So I'm sorry, man. I'm forgetting whenever you guys. That's right, because we already had this whole discussion about. I know it's higher. My brain sometimes.
Go for it. I explain why it's so low in my.
I get the number 1 spot, Dean. So I'm going to let you explain this. How about that?
Okay. All right. So we are talking about Brass Birmingham.
Brass Birmingham.
Does anyone have a copy of this game? I do not.
That's a negative.
I sold my copy.
Oh, okay. All right. So we just did a review of this, and you can listen to that. We did it on the podcast. We didn't do it on our channel. But Brass Birmingham, you are doing different things. You're moving around on a map, trying to sell things and make money.
Yeah, industry, different things like that. And it is what I enjoy about it is that it is super heavy player interaction Euro. You have to really pay attention to what everybody else is doing, especially when they're going and building the connectors, whether that's canals or the trail or the railroads. You're using other people's coal or different things like that. You're hoping people use yours so that it flips over tiles. I really like the economic mechanic that it has in it, which is pretty similar to a lot of his other games. But I think that all of it weaves together to make an awesome game. I love it.
It's the card play for me. I think that you have to make those decisions on how to use the cards and which ones you want to waste to be able to take other actions, and then which ones you want to use to take the actions to build or to do other things with them. But
you love card play with Martin Wallace.
It tends to be why I like Martin Wallace games so much, is because I love his card play.
It's my least favorite mechanic that he uses, I think.
It's like
why I don't like nanny narking.
It's the strongest mechanic that he uses in all of his games, it seems like.
I'm
not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's the one that seems to be his most dominant strat.
He uses it a lot. Yeah, design. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying it's probably my least favorite of some of his stuff. I like the way he does his economy in his games.
I will tell you why it's just on 10 for me.
I was going to ask you why it's out of your collection. Yeah.
And it's already sold, simply because this is one of the things when I mentioned I built my list up all of the idea of what I'm still playing and what I still like and love.
I did the same exact thing. Yep.
Brass for me is when it came out, it was hyped. Everybody was blown. I think they sold 60,000 units like that. It was a hype on Kickstarter. Don't get me wrong. It looks beautiful. Components are perfect. And it's a really, really good game. But it doesn't get too often on the table. It's simply too long. It's super heavy. You need people who know that. You need the group who played that 3, 4, 5 times. It has this learning curve. So if you are new and there are experienced players, you get killed, correct? So all of that, it brings the game not on the table too often for me. I don't
that makes sense.
For these hype people, I have every other week a new game. I have Maracaibo here, then you are, which is still in shrink, right? Then I wanted to play one of my favorites again, my number one. I can tell you that because it's definitely not on the list. It's older. It's Power Grid. So I wanted to play Power Grid again. I wanted to play Glenmore again. I wanted to play this again and that again and this again and that. So there are so many games that I wanted to play, and I don't have 3.5 hours to explain a person this game new, knowing I'm never playing that game with that same person again. I don't have the time.
There's a lot of kind of fiddly rules you got to pay attention to. When we got taught it the first time, there were so many times the guy was like, you can't do that. No, you got to do that, and we're like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Don't forget to put your money on your player, marker or whatever. That's
why I don't own it yet, Nils. Like, and that's, and I even talked to this about Dean. This was one where I rated really high, and I go, I wonder how much I'll actually get it to the table. Love it when I play it, but I don't know how much I'll get it to the table.
Same with this one here. It's too complicated. You have to play it 2 times before you really know what's going on.
Yeah.
And the 3rd time is fun, but not for the person who explained it to 10 different people, explained it 10 times, played it 20 times, and no, he cannot play really tough or cutthroating because then I would ruin his experience. So I don't want to play 3.5 hours, my whole evening for the whole, I have family. So when I'm playing 3.5 hours, that's the whole evening I'm having. And I played one game just to teach someone, and I know I will never play it with that person again.
Totally understand.
Yeah, and the downtime is just such a bear in this game, but it is. But I still
3.5
love.
hours. That's it.
Yeah.
So don't get confused by the number on the box. With explaining and with helping a little bit, it takes 3.5 hours, and that's too long for a game that you are not playing frequently.
Sure.
That's the reason why it's down. Don't get me wrong. It's a really, really good game. It's a really good game. And the artwork, the material, the components, stunning.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the game. Just too long.
Yep. All right. That's our number 5s. Number 4.
Niels at number 4.
So what is a greater game? Now we can't wait to hear what number 4 is.
Coming from a good-looking game, coming to a very ugly game, horrible game, but it has exactly what Brass doesn't have. So first of all, it has a very affordable price. Second of all, it's from that designer, from Stefan Feld, a fairly fast one. It's also the flow of the game is very easy. It doesn't have the forum Trajanum. You play this, and then it triggered that, and then that, and then and that.
Sure.
It doesn't have 5 in a chain. It only had 2 or 3 in there.
Yep, that's right.
Carpe Diem. It's probably the most ugliest box of 2018, and the components are disgusting.
It is ugly.
It's horrible.
You should have done it. Funtel's. Wouldn't that have been great? You would have killed it.
Honestly, if that game wouldn't be so fast, the only reason why it's on my list, it has a felt feeling. I know I'm now making up a very controversial thing. My favorite Stefan Feld after this one is, and I don't even the name. It's a green box. Where you go and explore these
La Isla?
Yeah, La Isla.
That's
wow.
Yeah, I know, that's very controversial. And the only reason is it's fast. You have a slight felt feeling. You dig into felt, but it's not. And one of the ones I don't like is this with the robots,
Aquasphere. I haven't played that.
Because you have all of this, everybody is doing some cool stuff like this. You do this chain of actions. It's not so it's so hard. You have only 5 different options you can pick from, or 2 or 3, because you don't have the other ones. So, but 5 different colors. But then you have on top of a copycat version. It feels like Stefan Feld is always making, when he have a complicated game, how can I make it even more complicated? How can I do another circle on it? And I think, no, for Bora Bora, why there are 2 currencies in it? Why there are tattoos and what is the shells, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shells and tattoos. Why 2? He could shrink that down to 1. It wouldn't do anything except for killing 20 minutes of the playtime. Would streamline it. He has no idea how to streamline a game. And this one is streamlined. That is the reason why I like it. Has a cool. I really like Stefan Feld. Don't get me wrong. He makes great games. But when the game is done, you think, oh, let's make it a little bit more complicated. That's confused people.
Niels is on his soapbox right now, and he's ranting. So what you need to do, Niels, is you need to get Stefan Feld to do a game for Funtails, and you have to say, no, you're not allowed to do this. We're going to make this streamlined. I like Carpe Diem. I don't love it. I like the mechanic of the way you slide up and down and you have to think through. That's kind of fun. The other part, the tiling is just okay for me, but Dean really likes it even better than me.
I like this one a lot. And for all those reasons that you just said, Niels, and I agree. And with really all the things that you said, I do think that for me, nothing ever tops Castles of Burgundy, but I've got so many Feld games way up on my list.
But I bring it up again. I have Forum Trajanum, by the way, here as well. So the difference between Carpe Diem and Forum Trajanum is, for me, downtime. When it boils down to one negative thing in Forum Trajanum, it's downtime. Because when you do the one action, so you place your 2 cards, your meeple there on this street corner, you do this, that. In all of these 5 steps of your turn, the other person sitting around waiting, doing nothing.
Yeah. I will say that I've played it primarily for Trajanum at 2 players. And I think that I like it like that because it's quicker. I don't mind playing at 3, but I played at 2 with my wife most of the time. So.
But here you move your meeple. You have 2 directions, either that or that. Then you have up to 4 tiles. Pick 1 out of 4. You place it, you do 1 more action, sometimes 2, that's it. So the downtime is killed by at least 30 to 40%.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you kind of have an idea of what your strategy is in Carpe Diem. Yeah. Like, pretty early on, you can just look at your board and see what's going to give me points based on the border on the outside. I'm with you. I think this is a fun game.
Yep. That's 4, right, Nils?
Oh, that's 4. Yeah.
You're number 4, Dean. What you got?
You got to get another giant box out here. Hold on.
Is it on my list?
I don't know.
My list.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It takes place out west.
Nope. Not on my list.
Western Legends. I like my theme in a game. This game is chock full of amazing theme where you are taking on the role of a Western legend, and then you are just trying to you're trying to win, but you can take a lot of different strategies in that. Like, you can focus on robbing a bank, right? You can focus on taking out bandits. You can focus on gambling. There's a lot of different ways that you can win this game. And for me, it just has the feeling of taking on the character of a Wild West character. I think this one's so much fun.
So I like it for what it is. And I like it with the right group. So it's definitely not an overly complicated game. It's not going to suffer from Stefan Feld, what Neil says. It's not an overly complicated game, but if you don't play with the right group, I've played it with a group that wasn't like what you're doing, Neil. Neil's just pulling up his guns and Dean, and we're like, pow, pow. If you don't play with a group like that, it falls pretty flat. But if you play it with where everyone's fired up and we're going to the west and we're going to get you, I'm going to shoot you in the face and all that, it can be a pretty fun game.
Oh, wow. That's violent. Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Which is, with any of these Emara thrashy, super thematic games, I think you really do have to play with the right people that can really get into it.
Yeah.
And
absolutely agree. Let me ask you.
So for me, it is with that caveat for sure.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one question about that. Have you ever faced a situation that is one of the reasons why it's not in my top 10? That it feels, I would say, in every other game for me. So I played it 4 or 5 times-ish. So in every other game, it feels for me that there is one strategy, and if you really want to win, go to the gold mine, go to the thing and sell it. Then
the bank, yeah.
Then shop. If the 2 event cards fitting, perfect, great, take the event. That's it. Go back. But at that point, you already have a mule. Go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And of course, you can. Oh, there's a bad guy coming. Hey, I would like to get up on the Marshall track a little bit. So let's. Oh, but this is just simply getting victory points. Why I should get distracted by this idiot? Oh, so if you play it to win, it feels really there are a couple of strategies you should simply do and follow strictly. If you play it for fun, like, hey, let's be the good guy, the marshal, and hunt down all the evil ones, then you can't. But then you're not playing to win.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that, and I've done that. I've done that very strategy that you're talking about. I think for me, the thing I love about it is the exploration aspect. For me, I want to be able to be the bad guy, right? I want to be able to succeed as the bad guy, and it's a challenge. It's really tough to avoid the sheriff, and and so for me, I love it because. Like that's the challenge for me is winning in ways outside of that one strategy.
Yeah, that's why I still like it, but when I play that game, I don't play. I know I don't really play to win. I would like to win. It's always fun, but I play for the experience more than trying to win the game, and that's when it's fun. If I try to just go for the win, not that much fun.
Yeah, you can destroy people in this game too, by the way, and I have, and I've been destroyed in this game.
Wow, I have. You get a little braggadocious on us there.
No, I've also been destroyed in this game, like big time. But it's fun, just good fun.
So your number 4. Now, I think my number 4 is maybe on. You said mermaid earlier. In fact, this is easy. I have it at my house right now. Is that on?
You have my copy at your house right now.
So it's on your list higher.
Lower. Remember, I talked.
Did you already say it earlier? Because that's why I said mermaid. What a dummy. Why can I not figure this out?
My little girl is here and standing in front of the door.
No, it's all right. I just heard my kids run by my door.
I did too. I was looking at
I did. I think I heard Dean's earlier too, maybe a little bit. That's good.
I'm sure you did.
It's more fun. Okay. So then my number 4 is Dean's number. What number was that for you, Dean?
7, I think. 987. Yep.
And this is one that I think Nils just said he hasn't played yet. Vladimir Suhi, Underwater Cities, baby. Number 4. You haven't played this one, Nils? All right. So in this, some people say it's the terraforming Mars of the sea, which is not going to sell you because you don't like terraforming Mars, right? Yeah. Do you like terraforming Mars? Yeah. It's not the terraforming Mars of the sea. I don't think so. There are elements of it, but it's not. But what's the mechanic that I really enjoy about this game is the fact that there are worker placement spots all around the board. When you place a worker, there's 3 colors: red, green, and orange, yellow. Whenever you place your worker, you also play a card. If the card matches the color, you always have to play a card. If the card matches the color, then you get whatever the card says. If it doesn't, you only get the worker placement spot. So you feel clever, and it's this pull the whole game like, I really want to play this card. I don't care about that worker placement spot that much, but I want the card. What do I do? Or do I want to go to that worker placement because I have to get those resources? So I'm going to have to discard a card that maybe I really want it because your hand limit is 3 the entire game. What do I want to do? So that's, for me, I'll let you talk about it too. That's my favorite mechanic, my favorite part about the game. What about you, Deanie?
Yeah, I agree with that. This is one of those games you can't do everything that you want to be able to do. You know, you can't build up everywhere that you want to build. Um, and it's also one of those games where you can do a lot and not gain a lot of points, because you can build an engine, but it might not be, you know, to gain you points at the end. So you really have to think about, oh yeah, I not just put cards out here, but I actually have to get points at some point.
Yeah.
It does have a terraforming Mars feel for me, but I don't think that should be a deterrent if you don't like terraforming Mars, because I think they're very different games. The thing that I think are similar is that, one, you're building up your colonies, you're building up this thing, but you're building up your own colony, your own underwater city. But the other piece that's the same is the card play. You play cards that some are, you know, one-time use, some are ones that are going to stick with you, some that are going to trigger or whatever. So I love the card play in this game in the same way that I love terraforming Mars.
Because you're building a tableau and you can use them permanently or use actions once every era or different things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Definitely like my wheelhouse. So
I think you will really like this one.
I wrote two things down. It's Cryptid and it's underwater cities.
Yeah.
That's the two words I have to play.
My second favorite part of underwater cities is so you're building, Nils, you're building this underwater city, and then 3 times over the course of the game you have production. So it's engine building, which I know you like engine building. And then so you produce on your whole city. So you're really building up to those big productions, which is what really scores you the points, that gives you the resources that you need. Those can be huge. So that's really fun to get to that. You go 4 steps and then you get the huge production. You use those resources for 3 more steps. Then you do another big production. It's fun.
Yeah, that sounds exactly like my wheelhouse.
Yeah,
so I have to play
it. It could go up higher on my list. I actually just flip-flopped my number 4 and 3. This was my number 3, but I just changed it to my number 4 right on this video. So that's my number 4, underwater cities. Ooh. All right, number 3, getting to the final 3.
All right, it's big time now.
Okay, number 3. Let's make a drum roll. So, number 3 for me is a game I played only 2 or 3 of maybe 4 times. Every time I enjoy it, and I really wanted to play it again, but I don't own it.
Okay.
It has one of the main components is something I usually don't like. It's dice. But there's so much going on with the dice that it's really cool and clever, and it's from one of my favorite publishers overall. It's Coimbra. It's Coimbra from Eggertspiel, and it's really cool, the colors. So you put these then in little trays, you put these dice onto the board and place them somewhere. It rings all the bells for me, and Coimbra is one of my favorites of 2018. Every time I played it, I immediately wanted to play it again. It's a 1.5 hour game. It's a longer game, maybe 2 hours with rule explanation. I even taught it a couple of times. So I even know it out of the top of my head without owning the game, how to play it, which is crazy. But yeah. That's definitely, I need to play it again.
It's probably my number 1 that I haven't played from 2018 that I want to play, Nils. I really want to play that game.
It's the only thing that I don't like on it. Maybe the only 2 things. First of all, I only mentioned one of them. The one thing that it's too colorful. The colors are a little bit of distracting. So for €1, it's too colorful.
Gotcha. Okay. So are you looking at
this game?
What's the new one what's the new one that's coming out that I'm super looking forward to? I can't remember the name, where you're like universities and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a total mind blank. All right, I'm gonna figure it out while we go to yours, Dean.
Is it alum or something like that? What's it called? Hey,
I
played Coimbra and did not like it.
What?
Yes, and here's the thing. I think I will like this game. I just didn't have a good experience. I think part of it for me was there was a lot of downtime with the people that I was playing. I think that was part of it. This was the last game of a really long game day, which typically I don't like that. And I like to play lighter games at the end of a long day. So I need to try this one again because it has all of the pieces that I love. I love dice drafting. You know, that's one of my favorites too. But it just did not do it for me. So I need to try this one again.
alma mater.
I agree with whatever you said. So it's definitely what you said. So if it's at the end of the day, never play a heavy game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Never. That's a stupid idea.
Yeah, it's why I don't like Pulsar either. But I just need to give both of those another chance.
Pulsar is also good, but it's definitely not on the top 10 for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So you're number 3.
My number 3. Oh, I got another big box. Hold on.
Is this going to be on my list, Dean?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I've never played it. Rising Sun.
Almost knocked my microphone off. As you can tell, I might be the more Amerithrashy of the group. My goal of the quarantine is to finish painting that. I painted the monsters like a year ago and have not painted all of the characters yet. But so Rising Sun is a dudes on a map game, and it's by Eric Lang. It's the same designer as Blood Rage, which is my all-time favorite game. This has some similarities there. Although there is another one on this list today that could knock that off at some point. But in Rising Sun, the thing that's interesting, so you are building these alliances before each of the rounds. And when you have an alliance with somebody, you get benefits when somebody else is an action selection game too, at kind of its core. So you're taking one of the tiles to take an action. And when you take an action, your person that you have an alliance with also was able to do that. And I think the interaction between the players, I think, is a lot of fun, building up those alliances, and then you can break those alliances as well. And when you do that, it can be bad, but it's not like super detrimental between that relationship. But if you don't like dudes on a map game, you're not going to like it. If you don't like Amerithrashy games, you're not going to like it. The combat system slows down the game, but I think it's a lot of fun. It's actually a betting type system where you're putting coins down. Whoever puts the most coins down in secret gets to do this certain thing in the battle phase of the game. Tons of fun. This is such a good game.
John, can we kick out Dean?
I've never played it.
Not as much as a Euro person, but I love all games.
It's good. I like it. It gives another opinion.
It's okay. It's okay. And I'm with you on every point you said. And the only reason why I'm not with this game and why it's not even in my top 40 or 50 is the same point you had with Coimbra. I played it twice, and both were really horrible experiences. One was I played with just pros, and I was the first timer. So, and they destroyed me. I had no chance at all. And then you are beaten down for 2.5 or 3 hours by pros.
Not fun.
Not at all. And the second time we had exactly, we really played, it was in brackets an okay group, but we had from the first round until the end of the 5th round, we had the same alliance from the get-go until the end. So, and the other alliance was always in the lead. They were slightly more experienced. They know exactly how to pick and communicated about their actions. So they coordinated the actions. We were the slightly unexperienced more group. So we were from the get-go, not in the driver's seat until the end. And they never changed the alliance. So I never experienced the alliance thing. And the other one, I was simply destroyed. So twice played the game for 3.5 hours, and twice it was a super boring experience.
And I think, with that too, the game is unbalanced between people who have played it a lot and people who have not. The battle system is the same way, because you need to know what thing that you're bidding on for the battle. And that might not be super intuitive the first, time or two that you play. So if you play with experienced players, they're going to destroy you in the battles as well. So
never played it. Dean has talked to me about it. I'm not super excited about playing it, but I'd be willing to try. Skip it.
But you like Blood Rage, so Blood Rage is a better game for sure for me. But
I like the tension. Blood Rage is maybe my favorite Ameritrash game. Like it's because I don't normally like those. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not a big Ameritrash fan, but I do like the tension and just slaughtering people. All right, my number 3 I know is definitely on y'all's list higher, because there's no doubt about it. So let's just move on. number 2. At least it's on Dean's list. Oh, wait. You might have said Nils. You might have said early. You showed it earlier, which means it might be an honorable mention for you.
Maybe.
Anyways, I think it was an honorable mention, but
you held the game up before we started.
It's on your list higher. So, all right, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So my number 3 is not very I guess you can hold the suspense.
So before I'm coming to my number 2, I just wanted to add 2 more sentences. It looks like I'm the anti-hype train guy.
You are.
That's exactly what I am. Yes, I am. If
it's hype, you don't like it.
No, if it's too high, the stacks are too high. So the game has to be 120% instead of just a 100%. If everybody's giving the best shit of that game and saying, "Oh, that's the best game ever," yeah, then show me that it's the best game ever, and it's just a good game. It's not good enough because everybody said it's the best game ever.
Ooh, my 2 top games are super hype.
So my number 2 is definitely on none of your lists. First of all, it's a German company. Second of all, it's a very easy and light family game. Third of all, I don't even own the game. Fourth of all, it is really a clever way to introduce people to mechanics. And it's Honga from Harbor. Honga is a very tiny little super cute tiger, and it feels like Stone Age for kids before Stone Age Junior was on the market.
Okay.
So it feels like you can go there, you get a little bit of resources, you go there, and that combined with a very family friendly, I mean, it's Harbor, so it has to be family friendly theme with this tiny little tiger. And when the tiger is at you, he's eating each single round a resource. So you don't want to have Honga. Otherwise, it's a little bit of a race. You have to be on top of this pyramid. The pyramid gives you points. You get points everywhere. It's really the perfect gateway game for kids to get into Euro games. So Harbor did a phenomenal job on this young family kids. So if my girl would be a gamer, we would play it over and over every day. Unfortunately, she is not a gamer at all. I made everything wrong in education. So what can I say? I would love to play Honga with her, and she would never play. She will never play it with me.
That's funny. I'll have to check that out. I'll definitely. That's what I'm doing on my phone.
I've watched videos on this, and I think it's on my list to get. I think my boys would really enjoy it. We played Karuba as a family, which is a heavier game, and we have a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old. Now the 4-year-old doesn't get it, but he was the one calling the tiles, and we love that game. And Adventureland is another one that we love, and this is more on the children's side, but also kind of slightly on that family side. So Honga's one I really want to try.
I would say when you mentioned these 2 Harbor games, so Karuba's probably from that listed on the number 1 of these 3. Adventureland is the number 3, but only I mentioned that as, for me, that was in that year when it came out, Game of the Year, even more than Karuba for me, Adventureland, because it was definitely a killer to Ticket to Ride for me. But for whatever reason, it doesn't get the audience, the presence on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever. So Harbor doesn't have the penetration on making a hype train for whatever reason, because I think they are not targeting the US market too heavy on that.
Yeah,
there you go.
Otherwise,
they've got some great games though.
Yeah, really they do. So for me, it's a new Ticket to Ride version for me, Adventureland. So and Karuba and Adventureland was their first year of this family games. With the third one, a Ghost House from Rüdiger Dorn, I guess that was not as good as. And Honga was the second year, and last year it was Miyabi or something like that. So they have this new family line, and the family line is really cool. They had this waterfall, Izaku.
Ikwazu, is that
pronounce it whatever you want.
That's another one I really want to try.
Yeah, so all of them are really good. So, and they are really well developed, really good games, solid games.
Yeah,
excellent. That's number 2 for Nils. Number 2. All right, your number 2 is my number 2. It's on my list, right, Dean? Obviously.
I think so. Yeah, it's not a really.
Hold up.
No, too late. Too late. It's my number 2. I'm talking about it.
But it's mine. I already said that it was my number.
Too late. I don't have my base game.
Are you kidding me?
It's not a hype game, right? Have you guys heard of this one before? It's. I actually grabbed these because I thought you guys would have your copy of the base game. So
that's my number 3. Dean's number 2. Yeah, almost my number 4. I don't know. I think maybe I do like Underwater Cities better. Maybe I flip-flop it.
Now we're getting into my top 10 games of all time, which is up there with Imperial Settlers. I think that there is maybe some inspiration from Imperial Settlers or 51st State, where you are tableau building. And there's worker placement in this game, which adds a little kink into that normal, like just card play tableau building that you see in Imperial Settlers. But I like it in the same way, like Imperial Settlers, Empires of the North, you have the worker placement that kind of ramps up the game quicker. That's what Everdell does with its worker placement, because you can't really do much with your cards at first. You need to build an engine, but you have to get the resources first. And that's where the worker placement comes in. But as the game goes on, the worker placement, you get more workers, but the worker placement piece is less important than the engine building from the cards, in my experience. And I really, really love this game. I've introduced it to a lot of people, and they've all loved it as well. Yeah, it's a fantastic game.
Yeah, it's a game. This is another one of those that my wife really loves, and that helps me like it even more. I like what you say, Dean. I like the way that it has not only the tableau building, but how that works with the worker placement. And then honestly, theme doesn't generally matter to me that much, but I do really like the theme. I do love the woodland creatures. I think that's cool. I like the big tree. And again, it's usually things that I don't really care about, but it just adds a little bit to the game. I think it's a really fun game. It's a super hype game, Nils. What did you think about it?
Fun fact, probably you saw it's still in print. It is a hype game, so that bumps it down. So I cannot judge on it. I haven't played it, and I explain why, because I think that's really funny, because you think that guy is completely crazy, and I am in that case. So I have the collector's edition.
Yeah.
I already bought all of the 3 expansions, and they are all on its way.
And you've never played it?
And I've never played the game. So I bought everything. So all in on a game that I have never played. That's, first of all, crazy. And one of the reasons why I haven't played it is every time when it comes to the table and someone is saying, I'm saying, hey, wait, hold on. Let's don't play it now because my copy is on its way. Let's wait for 3 more weeks. Then the other week, it's just a week ago, my friend said, do we want to play Everdell? I said, no, hold on. I bought the other copies, but they are on its way, so it takes a little bit. So I'm in this Kickstarter as well, and my copies are not shipped out for whatever reason, I don't know. So wait on. I wanted to have my copies here at my house that I can play it tomorrow again if we play it. So let's wait 1 more week. And I had that 3 or 4 times already that I said, let's hold on for 1 more week or 2 more weeks. So I really wanted to play it every time, but not at that day. Because at that day, I would then have to wait for 3 more weeks to play it again if I really like it. And everybody's saying he likes it. Everybody. So it must be good.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, this one I think it's worth the hype. It's so good. You'll find out soon enough.
Find out. But I will also say the Pearlbrook expansion, I've only played 1, and I wasn't all hype about that expansion. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I held up the 2 newest ones, Spirecrest and Belfair. I've actually not played those yet, but I haven't heard great things about at least one of those. I can't remember which one, but I'm
wondering if they caught lightning in a bottle with the original. Who knows? Maybe
it's worth it just to have the original. I think, although more.
I think it's worth to have all of them. It's a must-have.
It's good.
And at some point in my life, I need to love a hype game as well, right? And
yes.
Why not this one?
That's right.
At least this one rings a lot of bells. It doesn't have miniatures. That's a good part on it.
Well, here's a game that I know that Niels is not hype about because we talked about it ahead of time, my number 2. And it's a great game. Newton, baby. Do you like Simone Luciani generally, or not necessarily? Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, I like him. So here's the thing that I like about Newton. So on Newton, you're going up a bunch of different tracks. You're going exploring on this one board. You also have a board where you're going up a tech tree and you're discovering new things. You're basically just taking your meeple, moving them up a spot or two, and you get whatever bonus there is on there. But what I like about Newton, a couple things. One is I like the action play. So you have a desk and you got cards in your hand. You're going to play the card onto your desk, and then you're going to see how many symbols match that have already been played on your desk. So if you have like 2 of the same symbol, then you get a power 2 action, which then you can maybe go 2 steps up on the tech tree or something instead of just 1 step on there. I really, really like that about the game. Now, that does lead to having to maybe even a little AP of trying to think through, not only I want to do these actions, but I better play them in the right order or I'm going to get messed over. And that's happened plenty of times for me. But I really love that about it. Also, you are building your deck. Yeah, it's a little bit of a deck building game because you're buying cards to go into your hand. Not really a deck building game, but it has a deck building, hand building management component. You get to add new cards. It feels cool whenever you get those cards. And then lastly, I like the way you put the books into the library or whatever that is, because like when you cross certain ones, unlock this, and if I hit this, then I unlock that, and I'm going to score points every round potentially. I like all that. I really love Newton. I know Niels doesn't like it a whole lot, but I really love it.
I like this one a lot too, just not on my list.
I love it. No, love it is too much, but I really like it too. The thing is simply, I was thinking about Newton or some other Euro game on my list, and Newton doesn't have too much new. It has almost zero innovation in the game. It's only old mechanics mixed up, meshed up a little bit different. That's one of the reasons why I put Crown of Emara higher, with this 2 ways you can pick this wheel or that wheel where you go, so either earn resources or spend resources. That was something that felt more fresh and unique. And the puzzle aspect of these wheels, so it's 4 tiles that you puzzle, all of that felt fresher than Newton feels like an old game, old mechanics, artwork is questionable, so nothing really that is super fancy on that game. Nothing.
So we're saying maybe Oldton instead of Newton, right?
Whatever.
Maybe. Whatever. This game makes nothing wrong at all, but nothing really outstandingly good.
There's just a lot of other games you'd rather play over.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know what it is. I think it's the way all those mechanics. I think it just has a lot of the mechanics I really like, and I think they flow well together. I love it. I love it.
And on top of that,
don't you or no?
Yeah, I like this one quite a bit. I think it's fun.
And
but I get what Niels is saying.
On top of that, I would say the theme is also, it's a completely themeless game.
You don't feel like you're a scientific discovering? I'm just kidding.
Now where you're saying, no.
It's on par with Western Legend, I think. That's
it. If people are really into it, then it's fun.
It actually kind of looks the same. The drab colors.
That's it. All right. So number 1. Now, what are we going to do?
Game of the year.
For 2018.
2018.
You guys might have the same
For
one.
your favorite German citizen in Meepletown is...
What is it? What is it, Nils?
Oh, come on. Bring it up. It's a game that I'm playing a lot and playing over and over again. It's Space Base.
What?
Space Base from Alderac Entertainment Game. I know it sounds absolutely not in my wheelhouse, and I see surprised faces, which I like. Space Base. When I opened the box and played it the first time, I thought, well, oh gosh, this is like the game I really hate, Machikoro. So I really hate Machikoro. And this game, the basic game, makes everything better than Machikoro. everybody liked Machikoro except for Niels. Again, a hype game. I didn't like it because I thought the strategy, picking up the number 7, and everybody's saying, oh, it makes it better with the expansion. No, I want a game that is already good. I don't want you to fix a broken game with an expansion. I want a good space game base did everything on that.
Wow.
And then the first expansion came out, and that was gorgeous as well. It's not a real legacy, but it's a little bit like a campaign thing. So you unlock tiny little boxes, but then you play it with it. Unfortunately, the second expansion, the big box, is a completely waste of money. Don't buy the second expansion.
Tell us how you really feel about it. Tell us how you really
the base game is my number 1 game of the year 2018.
Now
you look really
I've never
you and Tom Vassell.
I've never played Space Base because Dean, I'm blaming it on Dean. And Dean's like,
I want to play this game. I really want to play this one.
But I think you've told me like, I don't think you're gonna like that one, John. And I might not. You're usually right.
I've not played it. It is true. But I guess in my mind, I have it so compared to Machikoro. I like Machikoro, don't love it. I think it's okay, but it's more so I like the mechanics of it, right?
Wow.
Yeah, the mechanic is great.
Yeah, but wow. I think Space Base is one that I would really like. I can't tell you, in the last 6 months, I've put Space Base in my cart and on Amazon and taken it out over and over again. I really need to just pick this one up.
It's my number 1 game of 2018.
Did you? Tom Vassell's number 1 game of all time right now. Did you see that?
Seriously?
Yeah, his number 1 game of all. No. Is it? Yes, number 1 game of all time this year in his list was Space Base.
Wow.
Beating man. I'm questioning myself, but I'm pretty sure that's right. He had it super high.
I'm questioning myself as well.
It had moved.
Hi, Tom.
That's cold-blooded.
That's funny. Nils. It had moved outside of his top 100
oh my gosh.
and to his number 1 spot because he likes it so much. I got to try this one. Yeah.
So I have to play with Tom next time.
I got to look this up now.
I'm trying to figure out. I don't think it is. There is no online version of Space Base, is there?
I don't think so.
I don't think there is. That's what I was trying to figure out. Because if there was, I was going to say we have to play it together.
We can play it. We can play it like this, so I can build it up on my table and we can play it.
Really?
Yes.
I think we should probably.
Can we stop this video right now?
No, we have to do our number 1s. All right, number 1 for Nils, Space Base. Dean, I know what your number 1 is.
You got this one. You can pull it up?
I am going to spoil it because you spoiled it for me. This is my number 6.
I have everything for Root, by the way. Roots is a game that I had zero desire to play. This was on John's.
I had to talk you into it.
Top anticipated game that he wanted to play, and I was like, nah, it doesn't sound very fun. This could potentially be my all-time favorite game at some point. It's that good.
The art is incredible on this game.
Yeah, the art's good.
So cool and quirky.
I like. This is not a Emara Thrash game. It's more of a hybrid though, because I do think it's pretty highly thematic. You're each taking on the role of a woodland creature, and you're trying to gain. You're trying to be the most victorious in all of the woods, but you do this in different ways. It's completely asymmetric. So with the Marquis de Cat, which is kind of the base character in the game, you're trying to get more buildings out than anyone else, and you're building up wood so that you can build different buildings out on the board in the different landings. Then you have the what's the bird name?
The Eerie.
Yeah, the Eerie faction, which the Eerie is it's action. Oh, help me out. It's planned programming.
Yeah,
program movement. So you're programming the actions that the Eerie's going to take. Then there's 2 different expansions for this besides the base game. That each of those adds 2 new woodland creatures, and the asymmetric feel of this game. It's amazing, and games tend to be really close, I think, in this one. Now, I do think again, like a lot of games, if you're really, really good at a game, at this game, you'll probably beat somebody pretty handily. But I think if you're playing with people who know the game as well as, they all know it pretty well, the factions I feel like are very balanced. And I love that, which is difficult in a game that's so asymmetric.
That's true. I will. One thing that I don't know if I love about it, and this is number 6, I really enjoyed this game, is let's say Dean and I know this game well, and Nils has never played it. But Nils is smart, so let me use somebody else. Someone that's never played the game comes in, and let's say that you have a faction. Maybe someone's out. Maybe you're Marquita Cat, Dean, and we've got to stop you. But maybe my faction is the woodland creatures or something that takes a little longer to get going. And I'm like, take him down, stop him now. And if they don't understand that and they're not playing well, then like I could lose the game. You know what I mean? Because the way everyone plays really matters, which can be unbelievably fun with the right group. But if not, then it can be kind of like, I just lost that game because that person just didn't play well at all. You know, and some people maybe they'll argue with me about that. That's fine. They may, because I mean I haven't played it a million times or anything. But
and Niels, I didn't mention this, but the way the game plays out, it's card play. You're playing cards that are multi-use, so they'll have a symbol at the top saying what type of card that is, and you have to play those cards based on the landing that you're in that also has that symbol. So that's how you build buildings. But also you can use them for their actions that they have at the bottom of the card. But that's the gist of it. But I think the other thing I like is that because it's asymmetrical, if you don't like the way one faction plays out, playing another one is almost like playing an entirely different game.
Yeah. Let me ask you one question, because I think one of the reasons why I never played Root is because the publisher itself, not someone from the publisher itself, talked me out of playing it. I know that sounds strange, because they told me if you don't like Vast, you shouldn't try Root.
I've never played Vast.
I've not played Vast, but what I've seen is that's not the case. I have the new version of Vast, but I've not played it yet. I've heard that that's not the case, and maybe that was early on that they said that, but I don't know.
I don't know. So I to be fair and honest, I haven't finished the game of Vast. So we just started, and I observed explaining the rules, and it felt so slow because it felt like someone explaining 5 different games, for each single person a different game in Vast. So I thought, oh gosh, that's so boring. It might be just a teacher, and probably he was reading my face, and I said, if you don't like that, don't. I think you don't like Root as well. So it was at a convention, last day at the convention, end of the day, so probably that guy was already tired. I don't know, but it felt completely strange that someone from the company, a game that I really wanted to get into it and was interested in as a person from media, and the guy said, oh, if you don't like that, then you probably don't like that too.
Wow.
So,
I'd say don't listen to them. Listen to Meepletown.
he was from the company. Hey,
I appreciate them trying to be honest.
Yeah, right? That's true. That's true.
I've never played that, so I don't know. All right, so we have Space Base, we have Root. Now we have a game this game is a creeper game for me. One that the more I play it, the more I like it. I'm pretty sure
I'm gonna go ahead and leave on this one.
That Niels will pull it up here, and it is Teotihuacan, the city of
still in shrink. That's the reason why we have the glossy effect.
Have you played this one, Nils, or no? No. Okay. Do you like Daniele Cecchini?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I do. I like him quite a bit. I'll just pull up the back of the box here. So in this game, you do have dice. You do have dice, but it's a little bit different than a lot of other games. So you have a giant rondelle that you're going around, which you like rondelles, Nils? I know Dean does. Depends.
I don't know any rondelle game.
Yeah, I mean, Glenmore too. That's right. I was giving you a chance to. I was tossing you a chance to plug Glenmore too, which is an excellent game, by the way.
Game of the year, baby.
Yes,
for Meepletown.
Meepletown Game of the Year. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We love it. Absolutely love that game. But the interesting thing is, you have these dice, and you're going to, and the dice are going around the rondelle. If you go to a spot that have other dice in there, you have to play Coco to do that, or you can go to that spot and not do the action and pay the Coco. But what I love about this game is you're building this thing here in the middle. You got all these kind of tracks that you're going up and down. I like track games. I do. I like when you're doing tracks. Here you're doing tracks to unlock bonuses, to do different things like that. I love the way that the rondelle works in this game with the dice, and also the dice can like die, right? Like when they get to the level 6 or whatever, they ascend. That's what they do. They ascend. And then you start back at level 1. So they get more powerful as you progress. So you have this balance. And when you go to a spot, you have to ascend one of your die that's there. So you're like, do I want to go there? If I do, I'm going to have to ascend. You do get bonuses for ascending, but maybe you want to keep that 5 die. Also, they get more expensive to feed whenever they're higher. I love it. Dean, look at Dean's telling his kid. Is that your kid? I hope that's not your wife.
Say hi.
Okay, good. Hi, Elias. What's up, buddy? But Dean does not like this game at all. And guess what I think, Dean? I'm going to tell you something. I think if you play it again, you'll like it more.
I have to play
it's a creeper.
I have to play it. I need to play it.
I like it better than Zolkin, which I said no way at first. And I didn't like it better than Zolkin the first time. You don't like Zolkin.
I do.
You do. I didn't
it's in one of the top 10 of all time.
Okay, I didn't like it better than Zolkin at first, for sure. And I remember talking to, remember Steph Hot? We were talking to her, and she was like, Teotihuacan's better. It's better. And I'm like, no, it's not. I remember specifically saying that, and now I agree with her. I was wrong. I like this better.
Bold statement. So I have to play it.
It's a bold statement. It took a while, though, I'll say. So play it multiple times before you – but anyway, Dean likes Zolkin better. Yeah. I don't. I like it. All right. Yep.
Wow,
Teotihuacan, Root, Space Base, number 1.
Very different games for our number 1, I feel like. That's
that was very
fun.
Different lists. That was a blast.
That was.
So I do have tons of runner-ups here on my.
Pull some of them up. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just showing that. So all of them are interesting games. So have you ever heard about Sword Crafters?
Yes, but I haven't played it.
I haven't played that one either.
So you build up your sword by tile that you stack like this, and whoever is the longest. Anyway, so that's an interesting concept, I think. Then something that I really like from how you play it on the table is it's bad picture, but you have a squared normal board, and you go in with your meeples from here, waiting in front of the rooms to speak to noblemen. Then your nobleman's talking to you. While they are talking, you get some actions to do. Then you're going out on this way, and you're getting also nobles, and then you're going to the king's court, and then you're climbing up the ladder on the king's court with your so your meeples moving your family members. You're trying to get your family members.
I would like that.
Right hand of the king. So that's it. Looks really cool that your meeples moving up on the board, and while it's a worker placement, so while you're moving up, you're taking actions. That's pretty cool. A very controversial one is this one here. It's also from 2018. Just pulling out a couple of other ones here. This one is also from 2018. That's a creeper for me.
I want to try that.
It is a creeper, huh? I want to try that one.
So another one that's probably, and I thought one of you would have it on its list, but
it was really close, right outside my top 10.
Yeah, I
love Just One.
Yeah.
So another one that is.
I like Decrypto better, but I play Just One more. Anyways, go ahead.
This one is another one that you could have pulled up, I thought. And I was surprised that you not put this one up here.
Yeah.
Top 15. It was just outside. I love Quacks. Yeah.
It was close.
And I have 2 more that are probably more unknown. This one here.
I don't even know what that is.
Beautiful artwork. It's from
I've not played that one.
It has little teddy bears, and the game is not as good, but really looks stunning. And what I really like on it is this one here. That's probably one of the cutest things.
Oh, that's cool. It's nice.
Oh, that is cool looking. I like that.
Yeah.
So all of the components are really good in that. And last but not least, one that you definitely don't know is this one here. Xcode from Amigo Games. It's a German publisher, and that's a time co-op game where you're just trying to collect.
I've got that game, but I have an American version of it, I think. Hold up. I'm getting it.
John's gone.
Seriously?
They sent us some games that might be one of the ones that they had sent to us.
Sorry, Meepletown. I put it in the other room. They call it Mission Xcode here. Is that where you're passing numbered cards around the thing and trying to put it on the?
Yeah. That's really cool. That's really cool. It has an in mode so that you're getting more experienced players to harder missions, and that's it started very slow and easy, but it's really getting
it gets hard.
And you're getting more and more missions and unlock these new missions. That's really cool, and it's really hectic. It's very easy to play with 2 or 3 people and very hard to master with 4 or 5.
It's my middle son's favorite game. Yeah, he really loves that game. He loves to play that. I will just say really quickly for my my runners up, my almost would be Quacks. So you already showed that box. I don't have to show the box. Another one for me is Reef.
Yeah,
I really like Reef. Reef is this is where Dean and I like Reef better than Azul. I do. I like the way you have to plan your stuff out way ahead of time, and yeah, I like it better. I like Architects of the West Kingdom also. I think it's pretty good. It's my least favorite of his games. I haven't played Shipwrights, but I still like Architects.
I'm surprised that was not on the list of.
Yeah, it's a good game. It was borderline for me.
I think it would have. Again, the 11 through 20 for me could have been a top 10 for another year. It seems like, just because I like him so much. But so the ones that you guys mentioned already, but also for me, Dualosaur Island was out that year, which I like quite a bit. Fireball Island, which is one that my family plays a lot, but a lot of that's for nostalgia. We really enjoy the original, again, for nostalgia. My wife and I play Chronicles of Crime a lot. We really enjoy that one, along with Detective. They both came out that year. Welcome to was another one that we didn't mention.
That's a good one.
And I think that Grim Forest was another one that we didn't mention at all. And I like Grim Forest a lot. It, somewhere maybe more towards the 20 end, but yeah, Quacks is one that's way up there though. I like Quacks a lot.
Me too. I like Quacks.
We play that one quite a bit, my wife and I.
Yep.
So I think one of the reasons why I like Quacks is price point. This is also a game that is very affordable for what it is.
Yep. It's good.
Unless you buy the BGG tokens that you can, and then it's a heavier box.
But especially compared with Grimm's Forest. Grimm's Forest is way too expensive for what it is. Way too expensive. It's
simple
way
game.
Overproduced. It should be a $20 game. Then it's okay. But for $60, it's ridiculous expensive.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Not for the components are in it. The components matching the price. Don't get me wrong on that. But the game itself doesn't last for more than $20.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Quacks is exactly the opposite. The game that is in the box is worth $40, $45, and it's what is it? 35.
It is. And I can plug this one for that reason too, Nils. $35, I think, probably on like Mini Mart.
Oh,
and like maybe $40 at the most for Teotihuacan. I like a deal. It's a deal.
Yeah.
All right, that's it, guys.
Well, that is our 2018 top 10 games. Good year.
With my favorite town.
Yes.
Hey, John, real fast, tell people how they can get in touch with us. And Nils, tell people how they can get in touch with you, and then we'll kind of close things out.
All right, so for us, you can go to meepletowngames.com and you can get this sweet swag if you want to do that. You can also subscribe to our channel if you would like to. We are at Meepletown Games on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. We are, what am I forgetting? Board Game Geek Guild 3407. Nils?
Yeah, you can get in touch with me simply with clicking on the link that they are putting in the videos. I do have a YouTube channel, but probably some of that know that it's called Cyril Brettspiele, very easy for Americans to pronounce, I think. And also I'm part of the Funtails team, but that's all of the advertisement here at this point.
That's awesome. That's great.
Excellent. Thank you guys for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks so much for having me on the podcast, show, video, YouTube, whatever you call that.
That's right.
Yes.
Awesome. See you.
Bye, guys.
All right.
See ya.
Joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games, and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild, Guild number 3407, at BoardGameGeek.com, and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.